When you have aligned teams, they are absolutely fearless. We need to rethink how we architect teams altogether. Now, the first time I came across this idea of looking at teams based on their function rather than their role was a few years ago when I did a project for Western Union. My client was this woman, Donna Rossi, and she was the Vice President of Marketing and Customer Experience. And what she looked at is, at the time, Western Union was 155 years old, and they were ready to celebrate that milestone in their history. And she said, interestingly, for as much of an impact that Western Union has had really on the entire world, people don't know the story. They think of them either as the telegram people or as the people who transfer money. And she said there's such a richness that nobody understood. I mean, these are the people who were the brown wardrobed messengers who brought people messages from far distances when communication wasn't very strong. This is the company that when Wilbur and Orville Wright made the first flight, that they brought the news to the world. They were the company that transmitted the information for the Zimmerman telegram during World War. And so what she said is that we have this incredible opportunity to tell this story about how Western Union has connected the world. And I want this to be something that can stand the test of time for the story that we tell. And I said, well, I'd be delighted to help you because it's history, which is my forte, it's branding, which is my forte, and it's storytelling. Like, this is a dream come true. And then she dropped the hammer. She said, the only thing is that we have to work with our legal team. And she said, our lawyers, it's intellectual property, it's branding law, and she went down the line of about 7 different lawyers that had to be on the team. And I said, well, let's give it a try. And we all came together at the beginning of the project, and it was one of the most fascinating things to observe and be a part of, because what I saw very quickly is that these lawyers understood, here's my role and my title, but really here's my function over here, because our goal at the end of the day is to tell this monumental story in a way that inspires employees, captivates people who are fans of the brand, and we have to start it, get it written, laid out, through legal, and out the door in 90 days. So it was a huge project. But what worked so well is that we were able to focus on what are the functions of everybody in the room and how do we contribute together to get it done. And that's how we were able to tell the story of Western Union in such a profound way that had an impact on the company and how employees saw it and how outside stakeholders saw it in a way that took a very short amount of time. Now, there's 3 things that I learned from being a part of this team. The first is that we need to compare and contrast and focus on education rather than dissension. So when different types of people come together on teams, whether it's all a marketing team or it's a cross-functional team, the first thing that starts to happen is we say, that's not how we do it. And that creates dissension. And it makes people put up their walls, and they're not willing to learn about how other groups do things and the why behind it. But when you can start with this collaboration and you compare and contrast how things are done in different groups, that's when you start to build consensus. The second thing that I learned is sharing is caring. Now, we hear this from the time that we are little kids, that these are things that we should do. So we need to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly that went on. And if you know anything about Agile, this is a retrospective. Sometimes it's called a post-mortem. What we do is we look at these big projects and we say, like, actually, let's say what happened, what did go well, what didn't go well, and why was this the case? But what we tend to do as marketers is that we run at such a fast cadence that we never stop to see what didn't go well, and then we just continue to repeat the same problems down the road. Now, the third thing that I learned is that we have to emphasize curiosity. And this is a big component of building teams that are really focused on innovation. Because curious people are willing to foster the idea of what's possible, even while other people think it's improbable. If I had told any other branding, marketing, legal team that we could do a project like the Western Union history in 90 days, start to finish and out the door, they would say that's impossible. It's improbable. Who can do that? But we nurtured it, and instead of saying it can't be, we said, what if it could, and what would that look like? So that's how we started to cross that divide between different areas in marketing and also within other parts of the organization.